to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in and break you out. In the end, we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the shower. Part 2, we don't need no pause. You with Misty, we gon' get tipsy. Don't need a power shot.
Copy my steal.
Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Rohan Bijou, and today we're going to take a look at the Samsung Odyssey G3 gaming monitor. So I got this monitor for about $250 on Best Buy, and I think it's a pretty sweet deal. So as always, I've left links in the description if you want to go check out the monitor, and I think it's pretty neat. So in this video, we're first going to do an unboxing. Second, we're going to talk about the physical specs. Third, we're going to connect it to the PS5 right over there and then talk about the display specs. And then finally, we're going to talk about my final thoughts and my final score for this monitor. So before we begin, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to watch more future content like this. Like this video if you found this helpful, and comment any questions or concerns, and I'll try my best to answer them. So without further ado, first stop is unboxing. So the box is fairly smaller than most other monitors I've reviewed so far, and it also feels much lighter. Let's pop open the box and take a look inside. So the first thing we see is the monitor in its foam wrapping. Let's keep this aside for now and take a look at it later. Underneath that, we can see there are a lot of accessories that come with the monitor. First, we have the base, which is quite light and feels a bit durable. Next, we have the neck, which is a mixture of mostly plastic and a little bit of metal. Then we can find the plastic blue ring, which will go on the back of the monitor and is part of the Samsung Odyssey's iconic look. Then we can find the charging brick for the monitor. And then finally, we have a plastic package, which consists of the user manual, an HDMI cable, and the other half of the wire powering this monitor. So that's pretty much it for what's in the box. Now let's open up the monitor and start setting the entire thing up. The first thing to do is to take the neck and the base of the monitor, connect them, and start screwing them into place. Then let's place the monitor flat on the table and connect the neck onto the body just by sliding it into the grooves on the display and pressing down until you hear a click. This shouldn't take much effort, and it's actually really quick. Then we can take two parts of the blue ring, which we had before, and connect it, as you can see on this video, and then twist it into place. It may take some time to do it, and it might be a bit hard to do, but in the end, it should work out pretty well. Now you're all set and ready to start gaming. So that was pretty much it for the setup. So now let's move on to specs. And first, let's do physical specs. The Odyssey G3 has a decent quality build constructed primarily from plastic. The overall build feels durable. However, the plastic back panels can flex easily, and the blue ring around the VESA mount is somewhat delicate. So I would be a bit careful when moving it around so you don't break anything. The 24-inch screen strikes a balance between immersion and practicality. The monitor features thin bezels measuring only 0.2 inches or 0.6 centimeters, enhancing the overall visual experience and maximizing screen real estate. I did notice a slight gap between the bottom bezel and the screen, and it can be seen in certain areas due to uneven attachment. This is a pretty big flaw with the build quality of this monitor, but it's not too bad. Now let's talk about the monitor's dimensions as a whole. With dimensions of 21.4 inches in width and 19.6 inches in height with the stand, the monitor fits well on most desks. Its depth of 3.6 inches without the stand minimizes clutter, and the overall weight is 9.9 pounds, which makes it really easy to move around or mount it. It's important to mention that the 24-inch screen might be considered small for some users. If you want a large display, a 27-inch variant is available, but there is a slightly lower pixel density, which could be a downside for some people. The rear of the monitor has a distinct design with etched lines throughout the plastic, adding a futuristic vibe. The blue ring also adds a sick look with its design, and even though it doesn't light up, it's worth noting because it adds that subtle touch to that monitor's aesthetic. Some things to notice about the back of the monitor is that there is a slot for a Kensington lock on the back right side if you need extra security. On the stand, a convenient cable management clip ensures a tidy workspace, but it's not too noteworthy because it's just a silicone strip that places the wire together. It's nothing like a hole in the stand itself that might be a bit more convenient for most people. So the monitor offers a solid range of connectivity options, including one DisplayPort 1.2 and one HDMI 1.4 inputs. While the absence of multiple HDMI ports might be a drawback for some users, it's well suited for setups with a single gaming console or a PC. There are some issues though. The monitor only has a 1.4 input, and this version has limitations compared to more recent versions like HDMI 2.0 or HDMI 2.1. HDMI 1.4 supports lower resolutions and refresh rates, which might be a concern if you're planning to use the monitor for high resolution gaming or content consumption. The same thing also applies for DisplayPort 1.2. To utilize the max refresh rate and the resolution, you will have to use the DisplayPort. On the bottom of the monitor, we can find our navigation button, which can help us turn on and off the monitor, as well as help us navigate the menu system of the monitor. Unfortunately, the button itself doesn't light up, which might be hard to use in the dark, but there is a tiny blue light in front of the button, which helps a bit with illumination. The Odyssey G3 showcases an impressive range of ergonomic features that are actually pretty helpful. With the height adjustment capability of 4.7 inches, you can easily find the optimal viewing angle for extended usage without straining your neck or eyes. The monitor has a swivel range of -15 to 15 degrees and a tilt range of -20 to 5 degrees, which further enhances the adjustability, providing flexibility for you to find the perfect angle for your visual needs. The Odyssey G3 stand enables switching between portrait and landscape modes, offering added convenience. However, it's important to note that the monitor can only rotate into portrait mode in one direction, which means that most of the ports are going to face left if you're using the monitor on portrait mode, and if your PC is on the right, that's kind of unfortunate and you will have to move it. So there are some downsides to that, but overall, it's a really great thing that they were able to add the portrait mode for this monitor. Awesome, so that was pretty much it for the physical specs. Now let's move on to display specs. So the Samsung Odyssey G3 has a super fast 165Hz refresh rate and a remarkable 1 millisecond response time. These attributes ensure that your gaming sessions remain smooth and virtually free from motion blur, providing an edge in fast-paced gameplay. The monitor's display utilizes a VA panel technology, which offers a contrast ratio of 3000 to 1. This leads to deep blacks and vibrant colors, enhancing visual quality across various content types. The inclusion of FreeSync Premium technology is a notable feature as it synchronizes the monitor's refresh rate with compatible AMD graphics cards, reducing screen tearing and delivering a seamless gaming experience. It's also worth noting that there is no local dimming for this monitor, and the black uniformity of the monitor is relatively decent, though it might vary across different units. The screen appears to be generally uniform, except for the noticeable backlight bleed and clouding along the edges and corners. Thankfully, there is minimal blooming as well for this monitor. With a brightness of 250 candela per square meter, the monitor presents vivid visuals, contributing to an immersive visual experience. However, it's important to note that the G3 lacks HDR support, so it could impact its performance with HDR content. The horizontal and vertical viewing angles are pretty bad for this monitor. If you're looking at it from the right, left, up, or down, it isn't gonna look great. It looks a bit washed out, colors are washed out, visually is not very good. So I would think twice if you're gonna have someone sit next to you to watch something on this monitor, because from their point of view, it might not be that great. Awesome, so now let's talk about the main menu system for this monitor. The overall design of this main menu is very good, and you have a ton of quick look settings on the top, like black equalizer, response time, refresh rate, FreeSync, and eye saver mode. And the overall design is very futuristic and looks really cool. It looks like a race car where you can see all the dials, and it's really amazing that you have all of this quick look settings. Then let's look a bit deeper. Then you have settings like game, picture, on-screen display, system, and the informations page. These all can help us change various things in this monitor, like the color tone, what color profile you want to use for this monitor itself, and change it to whatever you like. Overall, this is probably one of my favorite inbuilt monitor menu systems because it feels so user-friendly and just so much easier to use than various ones I've tried across the board. You can customize so many things with this, and it's so user-friendly. Awesome, so that was pretty much it for the specs. So now let's move on to my final score and my final thoughts for the Samsung Odyssey G3. So my experience with this monitor was pretty good. I mean, the overall build quality is not very great. There is a lot of plastic and not very premium plastic, but it's to expect when you have a price tag of $250. There isn't a lot of metal. It does feel a bit wobbly sometimes, and the plastic itself bends, which is kind of frightening, but it's all right for this price range. The overall adjustability of this monitor is amazing. You can swivel, tilt, make it portrait, and it's basically everything you need for an ergonomic monitor, which is something that I look for in a lot of monitors. And my gaming experience with it was also pretty good. Images were stunning, they were visually nice. Even though there was no HDR, it still looked amazing. I was able to get 120 Hz through my PS5 over there in games, and it was really nice. There are some flaws in terms of viewing angles. You don't get very good image quality when you look from top, bottom, right, or left, which is kind of a downside, but if you're just looking straight on, just playing for yourself, then you should be all good. So based on my pros and cons, the final score I would give this monitor is a 76 out of 100. It is good in some aspects, but there are a lot of flaws that might hinder someone's experience when using this monitor. And as always, I've left links in the description if you want to go check out this monitor. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to watch more featured content like this. Like this video if you found this helpful, and comment any questions or concerns or even recommendations for other products after review, and I'll try my best to answer them. So thank you guys for watching. Catch you next one. Peace.